a one-to-one.
I don't actually know either of these gentlemen.
Do you need the help?
He's a Muslim, by the way.
No, I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for anyone.
So let's have a civil discussion one-to-one rather than other people interrupting.
You seem very angry.
No, not yet you. I'm saying let's have a civil discussion one-to-one. That's all I'm saying. I'm not angry. See, he's whispering unnecessarily.
No, but it's just I started having a conversation with like two people, by the way. This is crazy. I'm sorry. I started having a conversation with two people about the fact that if you invite loads of people from a massively non-westernized culture into this country, there are going to be problems. That was my point. That was it. That was it.
That's fine. That's fine. So you mentioned something.
Do you disagree with that point?
You mentioned something earlier. Christian culture. What is that? Let's define it. I'm asking her, not you. Look, if he's going to talk, okay, this is going to interrupt because then another person will come. I would rather listen to your answer than this guy whispering in your ears.
Indication of ownership of a country is a territory.
Do you really need his help?
No, I'm sorry, I just can't listen to two
I know, I totally agree.
I can't listen to
Do you need his help? Let's start with that.
Oh my goodness.
Do you need his help?
I want to have a discussion with
No,
you.
I don't want to have a discussion with you because you're a troll.
Okay, I'm not a troll.
You are a troll.
I'm just trying to engage in a discussion.
I don't want to engage with you at all at any level.
You clearly said that there was...
So I want to know from you, what is a Christian culture?
Yes.
Yeah, and now there's more.
What is a Christian
And
culture?
now I want to join in.
What is the Christian culture?
Yeah, because you mentioned that term.
Christian culture is Jesus, God, the church, right? And then Western culture is freedom, liberation, and I'm sorry,
Okay.
but it's just
No. Christian culture is different to the Western culture, or is it the same?
similar, but it's
Similar. Where did Christianity originate from? East or the West?
Yeah, but the
You know where I'm going with this, right?
The current European culture has...
Where did it start from? The culture of Jesus. Is it from the East or the West?
teach me.
East, obviously. So it is an Eastern culture which has been brought here, then which has been westernized. Now what happened today?
That's not true, by the way.
No, that's why I asked you, what is the
Even
Christian
if
culture?
even if it was, that's
It is
irrelevant. Even if it was, that's irrelevant. Because if that point was standing, then we could be saying that we could still have the same laws that we did 200, 300 years ago.
Yeah, even then it was still...
We don't still hang people. We don't,
No. I'm not talking about hanging.
it doesn't
I'm not talking
matter.
about hanging people. I'm talking about
By
the
the way,
culture
that's
itself.
that's not from
The
you.
culture about Christianity itself originated in the East.
Okay, I'm really struggling to.
That's why I said one-to-one. I don't want him.
Because Hashim,
That's why.
you've just
I don't want to talk to you.
You've
Which
just
part of that
lied.
you don't understand?
You've just lied.
Okay, so
Hashim,
Christian
you've just
culture is
said
actually
lied.
from the East.
Hashim,
The
just
Jewish
said
culture is also from the East. Okay, he takes over the discussions. That's the reason we don't want him to interrupt. Okay,
Hashim,
do you really want to carry on like this with this guy interrupting?
No, I don't.
You want him to interrupt us?
No, I
Personally,
want to have a discussion.
you seem more friendly than yourself. I'm sorry. but
Oh, really? More friendly?
You seem very angry at me.
So let me ask you something. If
doesn't
someone
like me.
interrupts, do you think that is rude or it is good?
It's not an interruption, it's an invitation. Hashim,
I reject your invitation.
why? Because you're a bad debater. Because he knows
You're a
me
bad
as
host.
debater. No, because you think I'm a bad. You are a bad debater.
Anyway, what I was
because you
saying, the
always
culture-
like to
the
side
I
culture-
didn't want to get into a debate with anyone. I was just having a lovely conversation.
Exactly, that's
and
what they
then
do.
there's cameras
They
and
get
people
crowds of
and-
people.
A lovely conversation
lines
can
of
still be-
cameras with people that they
we
don't.
can still
You don't want to have a discussion. They don't want to have discussions with debaters because they
Pointing is also rude, by the way.
You have been pointing to
Okay.
me for this entire discussion.
Yeah,
So,
but we didn't invite you
You
here.
get people that don't want to debate, but you have to.
You want to have a discussion or
Can I
not?
just say, this is my first time at Speaker's Corner. It's a really great day.
Welcome. So anyway, look, we can have a one-to-one. No other Muslims are interrupting except for this guy who is uninvited. And he's when he talks, he takes over the discussion. That's the reason I don't like him.
I was just having a conversation about borders, right?
About what?
About borders.
Yeah.
I do not know.
Are you against immigration? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm not against all immigration.
So what kind of immigration are you against?
Free immigration, where people are just rocking up on boats and then they're getting phones, they're getting houses, they're getting benefits and all these things, and then we're having our own pensioners.
How do you think they will get?
We've had our own pensioners have the winter fuel payment taken away from them. We have our youth being indoctrinated. Education is falling. The GDP is falling. Standard of living is crumbling. And we're just inviting people in and giving them a free ride.
So you're
Like,
blaming?
this is a problem.
Are you blaming all this on the immigration?
No, I'm blaming the people
Sister, do you
that
wanna have a discussion?
What about the government? What about the government? The government is the one who is giving them the benefits, who is vetting these people, and without vetting they can't get benefits.
Yes,
You know that.
which is why it's a problem
Good.
for the government, right?
Exactly. Not the immigration.
Yes, but right,
Sorry, not the immigrants.
Yeah, but when people are still coming over, regardless of who put them there are a lot of people. So, for instance, I use the example: if someone had come from France, a very westernised country is more likely to come here, assimilate, and just live their lives as any other British person would, right? If you get someone from Afghanistan, assimilation is going to be less likely, and we're seeing it, right?
So you're saying unless they assimilate, they are not welcome here. Is that what you're saying?
I think, yeah, I think you should assimilate.
What does assimilation mean in your worldview? What does it mean?
Accepting Western culture.
What does that mean?
Our laws here.
Okay, so now it became Western culture from Christian culture. Have you moved the goalpost? You have.
What do you mean?
Because earlier it was Christian culture. Now you're saying Western culture.
Western Judeo-Christian country.
They're not the same. They're not the same. The Christian culture.
This country is. It doesn't matter if they're the same.
No, hold on.
This country is.
This country is becoming less Christian.
Why is it becoming less Christian?
Allow me to finish.
Becoming less Christian because we have open borders.
You're getting aggressive for no reason. Let's calm down. The reason it's becoming less Christian is because most people are tired of what they preach at the churches. Okay?
Churches are woke. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, so
I'll agree with you there. We have too many people in church saying that men can get married in the eyes of God. I have nothing against gay people. I have nothing against gay people being together. I have nothing against transgenderism. But the church's job is to preach the Bible. Deviation from the Bible is not acceptable.
No,
So it
a lot of
you as well that the churches are woke, and that is why people
a lot of Western culture is at clash with the Christian culture. Do you agree?
Sorry, say
A
again.
lot of the Western culture is actually at loggerheads with the actual Christian culture.
In what way?
For example, LGBTQ. Does Christian culture allow it?
By the way, you know,
I'm not talking to you.
the latest rankings for the
So
trans rights.
this is what I'm saying. There are a lot of things which actually collide, and this is where many of the young people are disillusioned because they don't know. Young people like you don't know. Are you for or against LGBTQ? Against, but that is against the Western culture.
Yes, but it's not. Yeah, but people can go and do what they want. I'm all for people doing what they want as long as they're not hurting anyone.
Thank you very much.
When it comes to indoctrinating people in schools, the thing is LGBT, right? How many gay people are coming out now and saying, I'm not part of the LGBT because it's become what it wasn't before, right? It's become an ideology, it's become an indoctrination, and now we're having trans kids
Exactly.
and all these things, and they're mutilating themselves, they're taking hormone blockers. That's where it becomes a problem. You can do whatever you want.
You answered my question for me. You know why? Because earlier you mentioned assimilation, and you said they can do what they like as long as they're not forcing anyone.
In this country.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you what. Wait a
They have
bit.
English heritage, they have an inherent
Hold on.
right to
Not
freedom
every
here.
LGBTQ is born in this country.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. So what you're saying is that you're against
No, you
LGBT.
conflated
If you let me finish one sentence without interrupting, then we'll get somewhere. Okay, so the reason I mention LGBTQ is because the Western culture allows it. Okay,
Right,
the
yeah.
Christian culture does not allow it, and the Christian culture, you are for the Christian culture. That's the reason you said you're against the LGBTQ. But
No. I'm against the LGBTQ because it's become an indoctrination ideology. LGBT used to be lesbians, gays, and bisexuals, right? Like I just said, how many gay people are coming out and saying, I do not want to be included in the LGBTQIA++, whatever the hell it is, right?
no, just because they leave the ideology, there are many who come in as well. So there are many people who are Christians and they want to be LGBTQ. They want to assimilate in the Western culture. So unlike you, they actually are not against the Western culture. They are not. Even though they might be Christian, they still don't mind being with that ideology of LGBTQ, even if it goes against Christian culture.
But in the Western culture, these people have the right to go and do that as long as they're not hurting anyone,
Yes.
not harming children, and indoctrination is harming children.
Good. So where is the problem when immigrants come here and they say we want to speak our language or dress the way they want without harming anyone? Do you have a problem with that? No. At that time you say you want them to assimilate.
No, I have no problem with someone who wants to come to this country, assimilate and contribute, right? But someone who...
What does assimilate mean?
Just be accepting of Western culture.
Okay,
That
so
is it.
but you're not accepting of Western culture. You're against LGBTQ.
By the way,
No,
Yes,
no,
you are.
I've said about
this
3
guy,
times
man.
now, anyone can do whatever the hell they like, right? As long as they're not hurting anyone. That is Western. They have the freedom to do that.
So then your meaning of assimilation is a bit off.
You
I really want to know what you mean by assimilation. When you say
can't explain it anymore to you.
when you say they can do whatever they want, that's exactly what the immigrants are saying. They can do whatever they want as long as they're not hurting anyone. So that's it. Okay? I don't want to talk to you. I'll talk to her. Okay? So this is what I'm saying.
Okay, I don't want to talk to you.
That's fine. If you don't want to talk, that's fine. Because this is exactly what he wants, to stop the discussion.
No, quite frankly, I've tried to explain myself time and time again.
I was trying to show you the clash between the Christian culture and the Western culture. I was trying to show you that.
Right, yes,
What you
and
said.
there is a clash because otherwise this country would be ultra traditionalist, right? And it's not. There is.
So you enjoy the variety, right?
But that's the thing. It's a choice.
The immigrants bring the variety. Do you realize that?
No.
Yes, they do. Why do they not? Look at,
What kind of variety do you mean?
London celebrates multiculturalism.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Not particularly.
Exactly. So you're against Western culture once again. You
No,
keep proving
because-
that to me.
No.
Time and time again.
No, because Western culture, right? When I'm talking about Western culture, I'm referring to that as one culture.
It's not one culture.
No, I'm referring to right. Okay.
Western
Right,
culture is
You're
not one culture.
You're not understanding what I mean.
Most people in this country, they enjoy the variety of multiculturalism, unlike you.
Right.
Right? So you're amongst the minority, not the majority.
Okay.
And that, if that is news for you, then you need to understand that what you have been preaching and advocating all this time about assimilation,
Preaching. I was having a one-to-one conversation.
assimilation,
with a friend, right?
all that thing you're talking about,
Yeah.
it goes against the Western culture as well.
So do you think that as someone who's coming into this country, let's say someone's coming from Syria or Afghanistan, do you think that they should assimilate at all?
Well, like I said, if your meaning of assimilation is to become Western, that means I really
recognizing law,
yeah.
right?
Of course,
Right.
if they don't recognize the law, then they should be punished according to the law. I'm all for that.
Okay.
And that has got nothing to do with assimilation.
No.
That's to do with
Right,
obeying the law.
speaking
So
English.
if they were in Afghanistan, they will have to obey the law there. If they were in England, they'll have to obey the law over here.
Yeah.
So just because a Westerner goes to Dubai, do you think they assimilate? No, they don't. They go about doing the daily chore or their job or whatever it is. They speak English still. Nobody's forcing them to speak Arabic over there. There are lots of Westerners who would go there for the tax-free haven that it is. And they get a lot of money. They earn a lot of money. They are more than happy to take their children there because a lot of safety is there. Imagine this. There's safety on the roads, tax-free, and they get paid a lot. Plus, some of the companies, they pay for the education, free healthcare. Yes, all of this. Why do you think they are not there saying, the local people are saying, let these people assimilate, otherwise get rid of them? No, because they are accommodating. As long as they obey the law, they have no issues. Why can't you do the same?
Because they're accommodating. I'm sorry,
Okay.
but with the high rate of migration, what we're seeing is people walking around London with machetes out. And I'm sorry, but
Tell that to the government.
that's not assimilation.
No, machetes is not something anyone agrees with. In fact, I can guarantee you this. Those children who are there with, I call them children because recently I think a 15-year-old killed some 14-year-old or something, yes? These are children. They shouldn't be having those machetes. They shouldn't be having those, hunting knives.
Yeah.
You know where they get them from? Online, eBay. It's openly, it's so easy to get it.
Yeah.
So you see, this is
But again,
this is the
if
job
you
of the government
yes,
to
but
stop
if
them.
you remember, when you said a similar point earlier,
Yeah.
I said that my issue isn't just with the migrants that are coming over, it's
Thank
with the
you.
government that are putting them there. And I said that, and you just blew right past
No, I
it.
didn't.
You did.
I said
you did.
you
Otherwise,
kept.
you wouldn't have said what you
No,
just said.
I did say that this is a problem of the government. If you watch the videos, it's been recorded. I did say earlier as well that the blame also has to go on the government who allows all these things. For
Yeah, and
example,
you'll see me say
you know,
that as
I'll
well,
tell
so
you.
we agree.
I'll tell you what. Look, in Islam, there are certain things which are forbidden, which are haram, prohibited. Okay, gambling, alcohol, adultery, fornication. Which one are you for or against? None of them, right? You know that is Islamic culture and the Christian. And
I'm not a drinker, Will. Come on, you're a drinker. I'm not.
oh, he's a drinker. Okay, that's good. You're not a drinker. But you see, do you know why all of these are allowed here?
Because of Western
Why it
culture.
is? Yes. And do you know the harms because of that?
Yeah. No,
Much more than any immigration has done to this day.
I will agree with you that
Yeah.
there are bad points to Western culture because otherwise, we wouldn't be.
By the way, these are not just bad points. These are the points which impact every part of the society. And I'm talking about
Yes,
not just the individual who gambles or drinks or fornicates or commits adultery, but him, his family, maybe his neighbors, his entire society. It impacts the NHS. Yes, because every Saturday night, you probably might have seen this in Leicester Square or other places where there's nightlife, clubs and stuff like that. There are people, very educated, but on that night, on Saturday night, they're puking on the roads. Many of them actually commit a lot of things which are actually a crime. Yes? crime against women because they might spike their drink or something. You see, a lot of things happen every Saturday night and every Friday night because of these things. Does the government do anything about it? No. They let billions of dollars from the NHS just go to waste because of this culture which you're talking about. This culture is something which allows them to do these crimes.
And that's wrong. At no point have I ever stood here and advocated that the government is doing a fabulous job.
Yeah, but I didn't say you. I didn't say you did that. So, what I'm saying is that if the government was sensible, then they would have actually put restrictions to this. Yes.
Yes.
But the reason they don't, you know why?
We need to have strong.
Do you know why they don't do it? Because they get money from it. It's a huge source of revenue. The alcohol is like a $1 billion industry. Cigarettes, $1 billion industry. But they know all of this harms the body. Yes, they do know. Same thing with the adulteries. It destroys families, destroys the individual. Gambling, you know, it destroys again the individual, the family, his friends, all of these things. You heard of Peter Shilton? Peter Shilton used to be a goalkeeper for England. Very famous, he used to take part in the World Cup and so on. Yes, he became a huge gambler. Yes, this guy was very respectful. He lost all of that. He lost his respect, his dignity, his family, his friends, all of them one by one because of the addiction to gambling. You know what? Islam nips all of this in the bud, and it says it's haram. A lot of
It takes away our fundamental rights as Englishmen.
but hold on. He mentioned rights. Do you agree with him?
Yes.
You agree with him? So everyone should have the right to drink, to fornicate, to commit adultery, to gamble.
It's not something that should be justified in a court of law. These are things that happen within like a personal realm.
No, the question is, should the government put restrictions on this? No. So then, this is not Christian.
No, because we're not under Christian law.
Cast the first stone.
We're not under Christian
Why did Jesus
law.
not cast the first stone? Don't try. No, he did not.
Cast the money lenders out of the church?
No, he did not cast the
Did
first
not
stone.
cast the money lenders out.
So anyway, you see, this is where I was talking about earlier, that the clash of cultures will always remain. Whether you bring immigrants or you don't bring immigrants, that is going to be there. So trying to blame the unemployment, all the inflation, all of this on immigrants is wrong. There are certain things, there are many factors which take place which are in play here, not just the immigrants.
Yeah.
So you don't make them the scapegoats, please.
Which again, I said earlier, which will be on camera since you like to point out, I did say I don't just place the blame on the immigrants, I'm putting the blame
on the government
that is also putting
Thank you.
there.
So now we're in agreement then.
However, it is also down to the individual to know that everyone has an innate sense of good, of right and wrong, right?
It's subjective. Do you disagree with that? Good and bad is always subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah? I'll give you an example. What are your thoughts on abortion? For or against?
Against.
Against. What are your thoughts on abortion?
Only before the development of consciousness. After consciousness, it will become murder.
I think in the instances of rape, I think it's a bit circumstantial, but it's my belief that the cutoff should be 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. You know, in this country, we got millions of abortions.
Oh yeah, no, and I don't
Millions.
agree with it. Yeah, no,
Yeah?
and it's.
I'm talking about over the years, yeah?
Yeah, no. And there are women that are aborting their babies when they're like 30 weeks, and it's absolutely.
No, I'm not even talking about that. Most of the abortions that take place, it's not because of rape. It's not because of some problem with the health or something. In fact, in Islam, those are the factors which actually would allow abortion. And this is again a disagreement amongst the scholars. But many scholars do allow that. But most of the abortions that take place in this country is because unplanned pregnancy.
No, yeah, I agree.
Yes,
Yeah.
thousands of babies die because of that.
Yeah.
You know, you said until they develop consciousness. Yes. This is something that I disagree with, because you know, when you were in your mom's womb, you know what she called you? When you had no consciousness and she knew she was pregnant, she said, "My baby." Why did she say that? Because she valued life. She valued you. And our mothers valued us.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is what I'm saying, that
So if someone's
potential life.
I agree with you on that.
Right? So for example, if I'm brain dead, like my entire consciousness is gone, my body happens to still be breathing and alive, but I can't feel, can't experience anything.
Yeah. Your family would still like to keep you alive.
That's how I started this lovely conversation. Where these ran away. He's scared of the
imagine if that
You know what he just said?
everything that they
I can bet you that his family loves him, that even if he's brain dead, they would like to keep him on the machine. They would like to keep him alive until they see no more cause to him ever waking up.
I would not wish to be that burden. I'd be perfectly fine
God
to
brings
switch
life,
off.
God takes life away. If God decides to take me one day,
Yeah.
I do not want to
But-
be hooked up to the machine.
But abortion is something which is done voluntarily, okay? And all the rights is only given to the mother. What about the right of the baby? What about the right of the father?
I agree with you on this. I don't know why you're trying to debate me on abortion, but I'm pro-life.
No,
I don't,
I'm not debating. I'm just making a point. No need to get
Seems very
defensive.
debatory, though.
No, that's your point of view. I'm saying that this is my perspective, that nobody asks the baby for his rights or the father for his rights, because all of them are involved in making that baby, in the life of that baby. So what I'm saying is that this is something that we have to take into consideration. There are many things which the morals we get are from religion. Yes, you seem like a good Christian individual who take your morals from your Bible, right? Yeah, and there are many people like that, and they actually say, yes, we don't want all these problems, but many people unfortunately blame it only on the immigrants. I'm not saying you're like that. Yes, by the way, you should stop smoking as well.
I know.
Okay, so this is something that we have to understand, that yes, you can't make them as scapegoats, and I'm not saying you're doing that, but I'm saying that you have to keep things in balance, in perspective. That's all I'm saying. But many people, unfortunately, they see Sharia, they have to be like terrorists, they're killing. This is completely wrong. Islam never teaches killing any innocent man or innocent person.
Hang on a minute.
Infidels, wherever you find them,
Yes.
cut off every single one of their fingertips.
Bring it up. Bring it up. Go on. I challenge you, because
Chapter 9,
what he quoted from chapter 9, he quoted verse 5. He hasn't read verse 6. Because that verse 5 is talking about people who have broken a treaty. A treaty was established between the Muslims and the non-Muslims in Medina. The treaty said, can I finish? Can I finish, please? Are you a Christian, by the way? No. Thank God. Because you'll be in trouble if you were. Okay. So in chapter 9, it's talking about a treaty which the condition of which was, if it was broken, then there will be consequences. Guess what the consequences was? Yeah, it'll be death. The consequences of that will be death. Now, it says very clearly, no, not the women and children. Islam never, ever says to kill women and children. Okay?
States that not to kill kids, women, elderly,
Yes.
and even trees.
Okay,
We
what
don't
about
harm
the men
trees
who
and
didn't
animals.
break the treaty? You kill them.
No, they were not killed. And this is what I'm saying. In fact, even the ones who broke the treaty, if you read verse 6, it says if they come and ask for peace, establish peace with them. Do not go over the means. That means do not kill them unnecessarily. So you have been brainwashed by obviously the media, because you work for the media, isn't it? You work in the media. And then you actually spill out all this propaganda because you just regurgitate it without checking any facts. It is your duty as a press person to go and verify the facts and not go and run on the fake news you have been produced. I am, alhamdulillah, every Sunday.
Okay, then what I'll do is
Yes.
I'll come back with a copy of the Quran in English.
I've got a copy here. Do you want one? Okay, let's open chapter 9 verse 5. Bring him a Quran. You got a Quran?
I'll bring one.
A copy of the Quran.
bring one.
All right, Jazakallah
Wait,
khair.
do you want the mic?
Yeah, we can read that, and if you're wrong, you're going to apologize in front of the camera that you were wrong. Shall we do that?
I don't know whose mic this is.
Yeah? Shall we do that? You're going to apologize in front of the camera that you were spreading false news. Fake news. Shall we do that?
I didn't want to spend.
No, but if you're...
I asked a question.
See how he doesn't want to engage now? I asked a question as well. You were spreading fake news. And I'm going to call you out on
I'm
that.
not the BBC.
Yes. I'm going to call you out on that. How about that?
There you go.
You're going to apologize in front of the camera that you were spreading fake news as a person working for the press.
You should read it for yourself first
Yeah.
before making any assumptions or something. There we go, the shaitan.
Right, chapter 9. Sorry, I'm having trouble finding it. We're at Surah 9, just 10.
Do you want me to help you?
Yep, go on. Let's see if we can find it.
It's very easy. It says Surah 8. Next is 9. Yeah.
Where am I going?
What's your name, by the way?
Will.
Well?
Okay.
Mansoor.
Treaty among the polytheists.
Yeah.
Travel freely throughout the land during 4 months, but no, you cannot cause failure to Allah, and that Allah will disgrace the unbelievers.
Which verse are you reading from?
At the start.
From the beginning. Okay, that's fine. Read it.
From
Go on.
Allah and his messenger to the people on the day of the greater pilgrimage that Allah is disassociated, so his messenger, so you repent, that's best for you, turn away, give tidings to those who disbelieve of a painful punishment. A painful punishment for not believing, that's still crime, isn't it?
Really? For not believing means...
For not believing
No,
something.
not a thought crime. Not believing is a punishment. Yeah, read it in.
And give tidings to those who disbelieve of a painful punishment. That sounds horrible.
So where do you think, what do you think, do you think Christianity is the same? If the God puts them in hell, is it horrible?
I'm not a Christian.
I didn't say you were.
I don't believe in hell.
I didn't say you did.
Okay.
Listen to the question once again. If the Christians believe in the same thing, are they horrible?
What, for torturing someone?
In hellfire, yeah.
Well, it depends what they've done.
Oh, now you want context, but for Islam you wanted no context.
No, this is
This is the double standards I was referring
it's
to.
not upon belief. I
It
think
is.
It depends what they've done.
What do you think the disbelievers, what do you think will happen to the disbelievers according to Christianity? Yeah, like you. What do you think will happen according to Christianity?
According to Christianity,
Jesus is God!
it depends on your conception of hell. Because if you conceive of hell as a physical place,
Muhammad is
Then-
bloody fresh!
then it would be you burning for all eternity, etc.
Yeah.
See that-
So you
However,
as a disbeliever will burn forever.
reading of Christianity
Yeah.
can lead to the conclusion hell is not a physical place, but hell is absence from God.
Who told you that?
Come the Christians.
You didn't know. You're not a Christian, so you don't know about Christianity. According to the Christians, there is a burning fire. There is a burning lake of fire where the disbelievers will be put along with the demons.
That doesn't sound good to me.
I know, but you'll be there.
I don't agree with
I
it.
know, but you'll be
This is why
there.
I'm not a Christian.
According to Christianity, you'll be there. But will you condemn this teaching of Christianity?
Yes.
You will, and Judaism as well.
Yes.
Okay, good. So you have no problem with Islam then, because you'll condemn that as well, right? Okay, so you're consistent. Now go back to the killing of the infidels, which is I think verse number 5.
And when the inviolable months have passed, and kill the polytheists wherever you find them. That's kufar, like in Arabic. Kufar means unbelievers. Wherever you find them, and capture them, and besiege them, and sit in wait for them at every place of ambush. But if they should repent, establish prayer, and give zakah, let them go on their way. So only if they bow down to you.
Not to you, to God.
Okay, so only if they bow down to your God. So if
Brother, you're blocking the
So
cameras.
if I don't bow down to your gods, right, you are going to kill me wherever you find me, capture me, besiege
Why
me,
were they being
wait
killed?
for me at every place of
This is I.
ambush.
How did you put I in there within that historical context? Were you there?
Because, sorry,
Were you there?
This polytheist, this means kufar.
Wait.
They've translated this to polytheist.
Were you there? This
was
is
I here?
a historical event.
It's a historical context.
People,
Yeah.
historical groups of people. Are you part of that group then?
A kufar?
No. He's talking about the historical context.
This verse within that chapter talking about a historical event.
It's one of the last chapters
Excuse
in the Quran
me.
by the principle of application.
Excuse
This is
me.
one of the ones
Hello.
which actually stands.
Hello? This is talking about, the very first verse says, declaration is issued from God because
Can I just borrow that 1 sec?
Yeah. So let me show you exactly.
Show him
what
the
it
first
says.
verse.
That's showing how
Because he read it not
you're
properly, bro.
committing these logical fallacies. I'm sure you're aware of logical fallacies, right? And I hope you don't make and commit those logical fallacies. You should be a logical person.
I'll try and go for the man, not the ball.
Right. So, this is a declaration of dissociation from God, Allah and His Messenger, to those with whom you had made a treaty among the polytheists. So let's understand this verse. God is declaring now, the whole thing is now anew, right? To those with whom. So who are these whom? You had a treaty with. So who are they and who are you? This talks about two different groups. That there was a treaty between them. Sorry. Who are these people? Between them there was a treaty, and God is saying now that's it. The treaty is now done with because of the reason that follows later. So who are these people?
What would be the reason?
Who are these people?
Who is the treaty between?
Who are the treaty
Between
between?
the kafir and the Muslims.
Who are the kafir today or back then?
Unbelievers.
No, today or then at that time?
They would be the kafir back then. Does it not apply today? Do we not apply the Quran today in Islam?
Committing the logical fallacy again. This is a specific historical event that we are learning from God. What happened then and how God dealt with them. So, was not you back then, so you had no treaty.
But if I had a treaty with Muslims...
Excuse me. You do not have, and you did not have a treaty with them.
But let's say I do. Let's say we have a treaty.
No, but we are discussing the Quran, not you.
There, and you didn't have
You need to stick to the topic.
So are you saying your God is inconsistent?
No, my God is saying that this is a historic...
Are you really serious?
My God is relaying a
you a
historical
joker or
context,
something?
not a general rule.
Hashim, I'm sorry. Is
Yeah.
he a comedian speaking?
Do you not
He's a
take
press person.
No, is he a comedian?
I don't know.
Because I really don't speak to comedians because it feels like a comedy. I'm being serious. A theological discussion in which there is a historical event
Yes.
in which God is describing the actions of two different people and what they should do and not do after what one group has done to the other. Because there was a treaty between two groups, Muslims at that time and the polytheists at that time. Out of this polytheist, one group have made something, an action, which resulted in breaking the treaty. Not the other polytheists, because the verse Quran talks about those polytheists later who did not break the treaty.
Yeah.
Now, this is a historical event we're trying to understand, and you are saying, I'm a kuffar as well. This has nothing to do with the discussion.
But do you
so
not
now,
take lessons from the historical actions of
Yes,
your
we
God and the
do.
historical
The
words?
lessons are, yes, when you make a treaty, don't break it. Follow it.
Or you kill them?
When we make a treaty, imagine now, the French and the British, they make a treaty that we will be in a treaty of peace. Between us, there will be no fighting. Right. So we were not going to fight you and you're going to fight us. When they break, one of the party breaks the treaty, what it means then they come back to the previous state where now in a state of war.
blocking the cameras.
Not in a state of peace, but in a state of war. And what do you do in a state of war? You fight. You don't exchange flowers, you fight.
Yeah.
So at that time, when the treaty of peace, the Hudaybiyah treaty, has been broken and annulled with, they have now resorted back to the previous state where their states are against each other in a state of war. In a state of war, God tells them, now because you have broken the treaty, it tells you later on, because you were the ones who broke the treaty, now you face our army. But not immediately, God says, go and travel freely in the land for 4 months.
Yeah.
If within this month you want to say sorry, that yes, we believe in God and we accept the messenger, we'll pray,
But
we'll give
they
zakat.
have to convert to
Let me
Islam.
finish. Let me
They
finish.
can't make recompense with
Let
you.
me finish. That's fine. They can be reconciled. If they don't want to do that, they can go elsewhere. Because
only
now,
through Islam.
excuse me, we're talking about the historical event. At that time, because of what they have done, now they have the option of either staying in the land by becoming a Muslims,
That 4 months.
or within that 4 months,
Yeah.
or go elsewhere. These party that broke it elsewhere, because they had not. God, when He sent His prophet and the messenger specifically, the messenger either makes them to believe or they will be exterminated. This is the history. But I'm saying this extermination of disbelievers is based on justice and choice. They had the choice. So they could have chosen that.
That
So
choice to
now-
leave within the 4 months, yeah.
Exactly. Now what this says, this is what will happen after these 4 months. You will fight the Muslim enemy. But even after that, look how God merciful He is. He says, look, if within this now fighting back again,
Make him a dhimmi.
excuse me, if within this fighting someone surrenders and say, I don't want to be fighting anymore, you stop fighting and killing them and you escort them to a place of security and sanctity that no one can harm them because they said, I'm not going to fight. This is what the Quran is saying.
If they accept Allah
Look,
as their God.
look.
Yes?
Look, listen. Yeah. And if one of the polytheists seeks your protection, then grant him protection, so that they may hear the words.
Oh,
of
the
Quran.
sentence, no, but just before, they have to take Allah. They
I
have
am
to
talking
submit to
about.
Allah.
I am talking about already. These people had 4 months to do that,
To submit to Allah.
to submit to the status quo. Now
The status
you
quo.
have no
Or
way
to leave.
of-
That option to
or
leave. But they stayed there.
at that time.
Yes.
This was a historical options given to them. You like it or not. What did they do?
Decide not to leave.
And
not
they
to
then
be
fought.
evicted,
Yeah.
Then they fought.
And
So
then
what
they
do you do in
kill them.
fight?
You used the word exterminate earlier.
Excuse me. What do you do in fighting? Do you exchange kisses and loves and flowers? You fight. And the Quran says no. You fight.
Exterminate.
You fight those.
What do you do to your
If-
enemies? Do you kiss them?
I would fight my enemies.
Sorry?
Do you kill
I would
them?
fight
Would
my
you kill them?
Yes, in a war you would fight.
Would
That
you
is a
kill
logical
them?
thing to do.
I understand.
Would you kill them?
Kill my enemies in
Yeah.
a war?
Yes.
If necessary.
There you go.
No, you won't kill them if necessary. So if they're going to kill you, would you kill them?
Yes, of course.
Good. That's what the Quran is saying. When they are killing you, driving you out to your homes, now this is what you're going to do to them. You fight them, those who fight you, but God says again.
Where does it talk about proportionality in there?
I
Apart
will show
from submitting
you.
to
That's
Islam.
where you are going to learn.
Chapter 60, verse 8. Chapter 60, verse 8.
60 verse 8. Okay, this is one thing. One. Let's bring that up in 1 second.
That's the proportionality.
Okay, here.
You'll not find that in the Bible. Because in the Bible it says, kill everyone, even the children, and the donkeys, and the oxen. Unlike the Quran.
Allah does not forbid you from those who do not fight you because of your religion and do not expel you from your homes, from being righteous towards them and acting justly towards them. Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly.
You can read it again. Won't make a
Has to
difference.
verify it because it's something shocking. How do you expect Islam says that?
He didn't hear that about the Sharia, did he?
I wasn't talking about Sharia. I haven't had a conversation about Sharia.
Actually, you were
That is
earlier.
the Sharia.
Earlier you were.
I know, I wasn't.
Anyway, read it. What do you think of that?
And I only forbid you from those who fight you because of your religion and expel you from your homes and in aid of your expulsion. Forbids you to make allies of them. And of whoever makes allies of them, then it is of those who are the wrongdoers.
So only those who fight you, you fight them. But if they don't drive you from your homes, you...
But what
Here,
if your
you
religion
don't.
is persecuting them? So they're fighting you.
Hashem,
So now you want to change
Hashem,
the
let me
context
continue. Let
even.
me continue.
Seriously.
Now,
That's not
You will,
exactly
look, doesn't matter what we
Yeah,
quote
yeah,
to
yeah.
you, you'll reject it, right? Because you've already made up your mind.
there you go. Here, what the Quran says. Fight in the way of Allah those who fight you. But do not transgress. Indeed, Allah does not like transgressors. So you fight those who fight
Is
you.
that Surah Baqarah? Which one?
Yeah.
Chapter
And
2
do
verse?
not transgress.
What verse is that?
190.
190.
2, 190.
Yeah.
So
Chapter
this
2
is the
verse 90.
proportionality.
Yeah.
You fight those who fight you, but there's a limit. You don't transgress.
Wait. Fight them until there is no more.
Oh, he's not going to read the verse I'm reading.
I know, I've just read it.
And
right?
what does it mean? Can you
Why
explain?
are we hiding the Quran?
No hiding. Start with
We
the verse I
cannot
started.
censor the Quran here.
Oh, look at that. He's not going to read the verse I'm going to read.
Until until religion I worship is acknowledged to be for Allah.
Yeah, fight. Keep on fighting.
Oh, so fight until everyone submits.
No.
Islam means submission.
Fight until the truth is established.
Until everyone
That's not
submits.
Fighting.
Seriously.
This fighting, look.
I will not submit. I'm an Englishman.
Hang on.
Really, you are Englishman? Okay.
Yes.
Your ethnicity is English?
Yes.
Really? Do you know what ethnicity means?
Yes.
What is
My
it?
ancestors were Essendon, Naisby, and Ashby.
Okay, good. So did they, are you proud of your ancestors?
Yes.
The
Oh,
colonizers?
look at this
Yes.
extremist
Yeah,
guy.
so you had no problem with colonizing? Ah, what happened?
All
Depends on the
rumors.
context.
Oh, now context. Why? Why would you want to colonize anyone?
To improve their country.
Oh, so you want to forcefully improve that country? Who asked for your help?
That's it. I
Huh?
think that should be
Many
enough.
different princes
So they,
in India. I believe the
so
Maharajas.
you think the Maharajas invited the British?
Yes.
No, the British East India Company was crook, which you're proud of. Because you have no issues with colonizing. Look at the double standard. Look at the
We
hypocrisy.
ended
Look at the hypocrisy.
famines.
Look at the
We saved
hypocrisy.
hundreds
No,
of
no, 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 no. You
people.
created the
We
famines.
did the greatest good in the history of the world through our
Okay, so who created the famine in Bengal?
The
Huh?
Japanese.
No.
The Bengal
Winston-
famine in the Second World War.
Winston
No, the
Churchill
Japanese.
and all these were warmongers. Okay?
You're taking the greatest
Now-
accomplishment in the history of humanity.
You know, really?
Denigrating
You mean
it. This
slavery?
is a disgrace.
You mean mass slavery?
Slavery, which we ended. Yes, I'm very proud of my cultures. And
So your ancestors,
I'm very
wait, your ancestors who were responsible for who were responsible for thousands of deaths during slavery. Yes, chattel slavery. Chattel slavery. Look at these double standards. He was saying all this time the Quran says to kill. Now all of a sudden he's proud of colonizers who not only raped and pillaged the countries
the people
that they came.
who brought life, liberty and property, the people who built the railways, the schools, the hospitals.
What about the
who
famines?
built
What about the
roads,
deaths? What
who
about the
made
rapes?
it possible
What about
to move food
they
and save
they brought the money here from those
millions
countries to
from
make this
them.
country richer.
We saved so
Hashem,
many
do you know
people.
why we kicked
And
the
I-
Now your hypocrisy is exposed.
My
Do you know
Yes.
why we kicked
Okay.
the British
You are a
out?
proud. By the way, don't touch me, please. I didn't touch you. Okay, calm down. I know you're agitated. Now that you have been exposed
But you
and your hypocrisy is laid bare.
to
Does anyone here, does anyone, English or
millions of
non-English,
people survived.
agree and are proud of
You are
colonizers like this guy here?
scholar.
Nobody's. Not even the English people will say that they are proud of colonizers and abusers and oppressors and rapists and killers and murderers.
We civilized.
Bro, you're mentally colonized. You're mentally colonized.
Why?
Because you are.
How can I be colonized with my own culture, Kasa?
No, because you're mentally colonized.
By my own culture?
No, by saying you're proud of colonizers.
For freedom around the world.
By killing women and children, yeah.
The English.
Are you condoning the women and children who have been killed due to colonization?
Totally not.
Totally not. Could they have colonized without killing the women and children in those countries?
Could we have colonized perfectly? Yes, I do think we could have colonized.
So why did they kill women and children then?
So you don't think that...
Ask the question. If they could have done it without killing women and children and the raping, why did they do it? You see the double standards now?
So we've done something wrong.
Bro, you're exposed.
I'm not.
You're exposed.
I'm not saying that British people are perfect. You say this is perfect.
You said you're proud of colonizers.
I am proud of my ancestors. Yes.
Yeah, colonizers.
I'm proud of my
colonizers.
What are you?
I didn't say I was proud. Where did I say I was
You're here
proud?
colonizing this country.
What is the definition of colonizing? Let's see. What's the definition of colonizing?
To come over and occupy another country.
Okay, how am I occupying this country?
You live here.
So anyone who lives in a country is an occupier. Where's your mentality, man? How much have you studied? How much have you studied? None of your business. How much have you studied? How much have you studied? You have no idea what colonizing means. No one. It's none of your business if I vote or not. Why?
If you're voting in this country,
his definition of a colonizer is someone who lives in this country.
Okay.
Look at the hypocrisy now. You know what? They only.
Someone goes to some other country.
Dude, that's why I said you're mentally colonized.
The hospitals, they bring modern medicine. They bring modern medicine. They save millions of lives.
Yeah.
They stop people from starving. They get rid of famines. You know how many people
It doesn't justify killing and raping. It doesn't justify.
I never said it was.
You said. I asked you. Could they have colonized? Could they have colonized? No, I'm going for you. You who said colonizing means to stay in a country. You are totally ignorant of the term. No, why change the topic now? You have caught.
Answer the question. Come on.
Look at the.
Let's
By
have
the
an
way,
honest debate.
Yeah.
Do you vote?
First and foremost, go and read a dictionary, and then you will know. Do you know he doesn't know English language? And the guy says, I am English. He has no idea about the term colonizing. Doesn't have it. It makes no difference. You know why?
It makes every difference. Because if you go to another country and you're taking over their politics, or at least you're taking a political say in that country, that is colonization.
Okay, can I respond to that? Good. How many millions of people marched in this park and elsewhere in England during the Gulf War? How many people?
I don't know.
Millions.
I'm still asking, have you voted?
I'm answering, none of your business. Are you?
This is a question.
Okay.
Do you have a political say in this country or not?
Actually, even if I did, listen, I'm answering. Even if they did, like those millions of people who marched against the Gulf War, yes? The countries, they were all, by the way, they were all voters. Listen, allow me to finish. I'm answering your question. If you listen, you will learn. All those people, but you said anyone who stays, so you're staying in this country, you're a colonizer, according to your own definition.
Colonize my own country.
You can, because based on your definition, that's your definition.
I can colonize.
That's how dumb your definition is. Yes.
I'm talking about my
So anyway, those millions of people who marched here, the leaders did not listen to them.
So
they were voters. They were voting, and it made no difference to the leaders. They still went to war with Iraq. 1 million people were killed because of that. Because of a dodgy dossier. Because of a dodgy dossier, they enslaved an entire country, which is called Iraq. They destroyed its culture, its people. Run away like a coward you are. Okay? This is exactly what it is. Run away like the coward you are. Okay? So they destroyed a country called Iraq. Millions of people, 1 million people died there. Children died there. Based on what? A dodgy dossier. And that's what you're proud of. You ignorant person. Yes, run away like the coward you are. You see, this is what happens when we actually discuss with people based on rationality. I asked him a simple question. Okay? When you actually colonize a country that is taken by force, no one should condone that. This guy was proud of it. And if he goes to the English people, they say, you're not one of us because you don't have the right skin tone. Many of these EDL or ex-EDL will say this to you. Exactly what they want. They want every immigrant with the wrong color gone from here. Yes, wrong color, that is the key. And this is exactly what we are against, because that is pure racism. He kept saying, my culture, my ethnicity, my this, my that. Okay? Go and tell that to an English person. He'll tell you you're not white enough. You don't have a fair skin, so you're not one of us. Very simple for them to judge you. because this is what we are trying to say, that racism is wrong. Condoning colonization is wrong. Anyone who condones that, they have no idea what colonization did to those people, because to this day, those countries are suffering. Their children are suffering. Their opportunities have been snatched from them. India was one of the richest countries when Britain went there, and when they left, they basically dried it completely of its resources, of its riches, of the livelihood of the people, everything. This is what colonization does to you. It sucks your resources. However, when the Muslims went there, they did invade, because at that time, invasion was very open. It was empires. Empires invaded other countries. They had the power, they would invade those countries. So I'm not saying Muslims did not invade countries. Yes, they did. But look at the Mughals, what they did. They went there and they settled there. They became Indians. They built monuments which the Indians are proud of today. The Taj Mahal, the Red Fort, the Qutub Minar, all of this they're proud of. It is one of the things that they portray on their magazines, on their travel magazines. And this is what they're proud of, even to this day. Why? Because those Mughals, they did not take it back to where they came from, either Afghanistan or Persia or wherever. They stayed there, they made that their land, and they spent that money which they earned in that country in India itself. And that's the reason the GDP of India grew. And this is when the British came and they looted it everywhere. They even looted the word loot, because that's an Indian word. So there's a lot of things that they took from there, and then they actually made it to such a state where the people were literally dying from famine. In Bengal, in east part of India, they literally died of Bengal when they had all the food that was growing in that country in India. These British people, they exported to that country, and they starved the local people to death. They made them work to their bones, and then they starved them to death. And that is exactly what colonization does to you. So we condemn colonization. It doesn't matter who does it, because this is what it does. It's unfair, unjust, and it is something which should never happen. So may Allah protect everyone, and all the oppressors, they get punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah help the people who have been oppressed, be it in Gaza, be it in Palestine, be it in India, be it in any part of the world, the Uyghurs, the people in Sudan, the people everywhere. Wherever they're being oppressed, may Allah help them. Because this is what we pray for, justice and for love and peace to exist everywhere. Jazakallah khairan. And equality. Thank you very much.
Nowadays you talk politics.
Sorry?
Now you talk politics.
We talk justice. Yes. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And they lecture us about human rights.
I know. That's a double standard. See how that guy was colonized mentally? It's one of yours?
Yeah, these.
That one? Oops.
Oh, sorry.
These are expensive.
Yeah, expensive.
I hope they're durable as well.
You want banana? Come.
Assalamualaikum.
Please.
Yes. Uncle, ho gaya? Khatam.
Thank you.
No, I'm alright, bro.
Okay,
Jazakallah khair. How are you doing? You alright?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. I remember you.
I want you to remember me.
Qatar, right? No, Bahrain.
Very close, yes, very close.
How you doing, my brother? Alaikum salam. How you doing, bro? Still smashing people in the park, yeah?
That's the idea.
Alhamdulillah.
Mashallah, you have very good memories. It's like 1 year ago. Exactly around the same time.
You got a unique face. What are these guys, you know? Can you give to them?
Yeah.
Don't mind, thank you.
You see the first video, like that's only 4 minutes. So wait a week after the Christian boy will interrupt.
Yeah, don't put that.
We don't put that, yeah? That's,
Unless you find something good.
all right, cool. Where's these guys?
There is no religion that rule this land, that Jesus Christ is Lord of this land. And every knee shall
إنما سنعقد